First class and flying in a private jet are two distinct categories of air travel. Both options demand the passenger to pay a significant sum of money to have the pleasure of boarding the vehicle. These two kinds of flying are not even remotely comparable to one another, despite their superficial similarities. When you fly first class on a commercial airline, you are still subject to the route that is determined by the airline. However, when you charter a private jet, you may maximize the amount of time you spend at your destination and minimize the amount of time you spend traveling. With a private jet, you have the option of choosing whether to fly by yourself or with a group of people. However, flying first class means that you will still have to endure the crowded security lines at airports and the other unpleasant aspects of commercial air travel. It's possible that some people will criticize you for asking the issue, but if you have the discretionary funds to spend on air travel, it's important to give serious thought to both choices. Continue reading this article to find out more information about the distinctions between traveling first class and taking a private plane. Private jet. Customers who book luxury vacations typically fly on private aircraft rather than commercial airlines. In order to reach your location, you will need to hire a private jet, as the name of this mode of transportation suggests. Because of this, the party that makes the reservation has the ability to control who travels with them on the journey. This might include family members, friends, or even coworkers in the case of business travel. Despite the potential financial burden, there are a few advantages that come with chartering a private plane. To begin, travelers on chartered flights should expect a high level of both luxury and convenience during their journey. People who fly on commercial airlines are forced to deal with the headaches of dealing with crowds and security at the airport. However, this option gives individuals the ability to circumvent these challenges. When travelers charter flights, they can build up their own flight timetable, which means they can choose when the trip departs, which is another way in which this method helps them save time. In addition, these people do not have to deal with any layovers or transitions between flights. In addition, the onboard experience of a chartered flight is customized to provide passengers with a more individualized flight journey. This also encompasses the comforts and conveniences that are available on board. For instance, passengers have the ability to select their own flight crew. They may receive catered meals, and they have access to various technologies and entertainment systems. And because there are a lot fewer passengers, there is significantly more space for travelers to roam around freely all throughout the journey. Charter flights are a prevalent mode of transportation for corporate and other types of business travelers. Because of this, they are able to conduct business while they are in the air or adjust their timetables to fit their packed schedules. In certain circumstances, the transportation of goods and services between businesses and their clients is made possible by the use of private jets. Celebrities and professional sports are two other examples of persons who commonly use private jet charter services. First class. When compared to purchasing a ticket for the economy section, the cost of flying first class is significantly higher. This is also true of charter flights. First-class passengers, on the other hand, are required to adhere to the schedule established by the airline. Because of this, they are required to go through airport security, as well as cope with crowds, layovers, delays, and long waits at the terminal. It's true that traveling first class on a commercial airplane comes with a variety of perks. They are allowed priority boarding, which allows them to bypass the line of people waiting to get on the aircraft. They are provided with certain luxuries such as complimentary alcoholic beverages and meals, larger seats, more legroom, and other advantages, and they are situated in a portion of the aircraft that is reserved for them at the front. The majority of the time, airlines will modify their seating in order to offer their customers the highest possible level of comfort. This may include the provision of sleeper seats. However, the degree of service and personalization that comes with flying first class is typically not on par with that of flying privately chartered. Long flights necessitate the use of a larger, more expensive aircraft that has a greater range. If you take a very large party with you on the charter and would have otherwise bought everyone first-class seats, then it is significantly cheaper to hire your own jet rather than travel by this mode of transportation, despite the fact that it is an expensive mode of transportation. Airports large enough to accommodate commercial aircraft are the only ones accessible to these planes. If a traveler is flying to a conference that is located a significant distance from the nearest metropolitan region, they will need to add a significant amount of additional round-trip driving time to get from the airport in the metropolitan area to the location of the meeting. Key differences. Even though we've covered some of the most obvious differences between traveling first class on a commercial airline and flying first class on a private jet, there are still a lot of key differences between the two types of travel. Here are some of the more glaring ones to consider. Cost. The cost is one of the most significant distinctions between these two methods of transportation. There is a wide range of possible costs associated with chartering a private jet, from $1,300 to $13,000. Obviously, this cost can be calculated per hour. However, the price may be more than expected depending on a variety of circumstances, such as the location of the trip, the necessities that must be provided, whether or not the pilot and crew are required to wait for the passenger, the size of the aircraft, with smaller aircraft being less expensive to charter, and so on. There is a significant price difference between first-class bookings on commercial flights and first-class tickets on private jets. When compared to flights to international locations, the cost to reserve a seat in first class on a local aircraft is significantly lower. The price is also determined by the airline that you choose to fly with. Certain airlines have higher prices since they provide additional luxuries to customers who are prepared to shell out more money for air travel. You have to pay a fee in order to sit in a commercial airplane. If you want to bring a companion along with you, you will need to hire 2 seats and pay the full price for both of them. On the other hand, when you go with charters, you are renting an airplane. Special considerations. It is not difficult for the typical observer to form the opinion that flying via private jet is wasteful. When the worth of a person's time is taken into account, you will see that it is a more cost-effective option. The ability of private planes to land at more remote airports means that passengers can frequently arrive at their destination more quickly. In addition, passengers won't have to wait in the lengthy security lines that are typical of large airports. Even for passengers who have earned the position of trusted traveler, this can be a time-consuming process. Many businesses are willing to wait for passengers to fly back on the same day since they do not want to utilize their aircraft when they are empty and do not want to lose money. Because of this, passengers have more leeway to adjust their itineraries, and CEOs may more easily hold business meetings and work during their flights, minimizing the amount of time that is wasted in the air. Because of this, they are frequently more cost-effective than commercial planes. There is also the issue of dependability to consider. Some individuals are unable or unwilling to take the chance that they will miss an essential meeting due to the cancellation of their flight. There is a good chance that the majority of people who take advantage of charter flights do so for the simple reason that they do not want to deal with the aggravation of flying commercial and for whom cost is not an issue. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.